broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in out, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And good evening, race fans. Here we are about 8 minutes before we get ready to go live from Sonoma. It's Racing for a Cause, and it is the Vaportrail Cup Series right here again on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Hello, Terry. Hello, everybody who is watching already. We appreciate you coming out on a Tuesday night, getting ready for some road racing action. We are in Sonoma. It's a 2.5 mile track, just shy, and tonight the track temperature 92 degrees, 79 degrees air temperature, and these guys have a bit of a challenge tonight as they don't just turn left. No, they will be turning right as well. My name is Chris. Joining me in a little bit will be Rick, running a little late tonight, and we're gonna have both of us up here in just a few. But until then, it's going to be me. So let's go ahead and talk about a couple of things. And the first thing we need to talk about, of course, is point standings. Little shake up here after last week. Steve Baker on top of the charts. Colin Allman, second spot. Troy Radford, after last week's win, launches himself up in the third spot. Chris Spencer, fourth. Eric Blount in fifth spot. Chris Mefford in sixth. Justin Rigsby, AJ Rogers, Dustin German, Russell Brown rounding out the top 10. On the other side, you got Cade Green in 11th position, Brandon Hartwell, Ricky Harden, Doug Wasaki, and KD Dale Osmond. Rounding out that top 15, finishing out the top 20, you got Tyler Hilton, Dustin Ping, Josh Spalding, Aaron Tolhurst, and Jerry West. Those are the point standings coming in tonight. Linda, good to see you out there. Appreciate that. KD's paint not working tonight for whatever reason. I've tried loading it like 5 or 6 times here during practice. Cannot get that paint to load. So tonight, no sun drop for him. Of course, this is Racing for a Cause, a league that Rick and I helped to form. And so proud to see where these guys are now. It's really awesome to see what just 4 short years has done with this league as far as growth. And of course, the best thing of all, making those causes first and foremost on everybody's mind. I love seeing those causes out there. Sure, we'll talk about that again later on. For right now, though, we're going to step away, take a commercial break, and get ready for qualifying around this big 2.47 mile track right here in Sonoma.
And he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Look to the outside and off De Jong into second place.
I'm going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's Howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the Parabolka. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the Parabolka. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
We are back with just a little over 3 minutes left to go of practice, and I have been watching these guys. These guys have been doing a pretty good job out there. It's not the first time they've run a road course. Typically, they run 2 or so a season. It is the first time in these cars, though, so they're trying to learn the weight of the car. The weight of this car makes a huge difference. It's very, very heavy, so you have to slow down a little bit more than you're used to going into the corners, or else risk spinning it around after losing traction. So these guys kind of learning that process through this 1 hour long practice that they have. Taking a look at Chris Mefford out there in the number 46 right now, running 10th fastest in practice. Looks like we have about 21 cars that should be joining us for this race. Pretty good numbers for a road race. Normally you see the numbers of the league drop to about half, as a lot of guys just aren't comfortable getting out there and trying to turn right. But Racing for a Cause up to the fight here tonight, along with Chris Mefford. Fast guy on practice so far. Linda, you're gonna be happy to hear this. It's KD Dale Osmond with the quick shoe tonight, man. He has got a 131.336 and just barely squeaking past Steve Baker, a 131.353. Very close for those two drivers. Chris Mefford giving a little celebratory spin. I don't know. We're going to call it celebratory. Racing for a Cause implementing a new rule here tonight. 2 disconnects from the server prior to race starting, and you won't be allowed to join, or you'll get an EOL. That goes back to a couple of seasons ago when they found a small hack in the server where it was changing the temperatures of the track, giving an unfair advantage to those who disconnected right before the qualifying or right before the race started. So I don't know if that bug truly exists anymore. A lot of people still think it does. Some people say no. Racing for a Cause up front and ahead of it, saying it doesn't matter if it's there or not. Here's the new rule, and we're going to run it just like that. Kudos to these guys. I mean, that's a tough thing to say. You know, there are people out there that have disconnects, and they happen, and everybody's unsure as to why. And yeah, it's unfair to those guys who are truly disconnecting because of an internet connectivity issue or what have you, but it's the only way to be sure that everybody is playing on the same playing surface here. So again, kudos for Racing for a Cause, stepping out ahead of a problem before it becomes a big problem. Again, about 21 drivers, it looks like, will be in this race tonight. if everybody's able to maintain and stay in. Some may have come in and practiced and said, this might not be for me tonight, but it looks like just about everybody's still in there. Watching the 25, Chris Spencer. He's trying to get around this track. And we're going to see that. Just like he just happened to have right there a lot of those slightly off tracks. We're going to see a lot of that until these guys get used to it. But that is the end of practice, and we are going to bring qualifying up here in just a moment. See who the first brave soul is going to be to step foot out on that 2.47 mile track. KD stepping up to the challenge and doing it in a hurry. Him, Dylan Blankenship, Chris Mefford, Justin Rigsby, Steve Baker, Josh Spalding, and Sean Cool all putting it out on track early. Well, and that's what I'm saying. It does. It keeps people honest. Not that I think that Racing for a Cause has anything going on like that, but you might as well close the door to any possibilities rather than leaving it open a crack. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of pride and a lot of fun that happens here. People can be tempted, so might as well close that door, lock it up, throw away the key. Dale Osmond on track in the 88. He was the fast time during practice, so we're going to watch him as he gets around this track during the warm-up cycle of this qualifying. A 10-minute qualifying session because of the length of the track and how long it takes to get around. So everybody has enough time to at least try it. Oh, Terry, you've never been around Sonoma? Oh, it's a heck of a lot of fun. Lots of elevation changes. Actually, it can upset a car. Speaking of elevation changes, you're going up a hill, you turn right. You're going up a hill, you turn left. Down a hill, you turn left and right. It changes everything. So it's enjoyable to race this track. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully these guys see the fun in it throughout the night. You'll have to excuse me. I think my voice is starting to head out on me here. But it also looks like Rick Hammond is joining.
That's all I know.
Hey, bud.
Hey,
so
buddy.
now you've got Chris and Rick up in the booth.
Yeah, Tuesday night, NCIS night. Gotta watch that with my girls.
Very good. Well, Bud, what you saw, or what you're seeing right now is qualifying. We have crossed into that border country. So qualifying efforts on the way. We're watching KD as he was the fast guy during practice. This is the first hot lap of the qualifying session. The 88 trying to get it done, try and qualify up towards the front of the pack. Him and Steve Baker very, very close during practice. Hundredths of a second, not tenths, hundredths of a second differential. You might see a Canadian chart. Yeah, it's similar. It's a little bigger.
Actually, I have a lot of fun on the track. One of the few road courses that I really do like. I mean, obviously, Watkins Glen is the top of the list there, but Sonoma's pretty fun. Laguna Seca, I know that's Chris's favorite track. And let me tell you guys, Chris is not just an oval guy. You get him on Laguna and anything, I don't care what it is, a go-kart, a BMX bike, a Formula One car, and he just tears through that track like it's no tomorrow.
Yeah, I do miss driving that track. Is it bad when you have the darn thing memorized so bad that even when you just said the word, I started going through that first left-hand turn, setting up for the right, and then the other right? Oh, man.
That's something he lives that.
I do love that track. I don't know why. Steve Baker right now with the hot shoe, 131.791. Dale Osborne coming in second spot, 131.921, couple of tenths of a second, or a tenth and a half, I guess. So those two still very, very close. And look at the differential back into third. Troy Radford with a 133.057. It's a different playing field here on a road course. Looks like Linda is also an NCIS fan.
Oh, yeah. Eva is back. I don't want to give too many spoilers in case nobody's watched tonight's episode yet, but that's a good one.
Look at the 88 sending that car sideways trying to get around this track. Fun.
AD under a different little paint scheme here tonight. I'm used to seeing it. He's been winning like crazy. And I see his name pop up on all these different leagues that I follow on Facebook, Chris. He's been doing a fantastic job out there. Digging this paint.
Well, for whatever reason, if it's a trading paints paint, it doesn't look like it's coming through for me. I got a red car, yellow back.
Yeah, I get the same thing.
Okay, good. So it's not just me.
Nope.
Checking out Tyler Hilton. He has a special paint for tonight in honor of the victims of the Las Vegas shooting. Pretty cool of Tyler to do that. Russell Brown out there in the 00 trying to get it done. That's a smooth looking paint job, man. I like that. Kind of like that gunmetal blue there.
That's a sharp looking car also.
Sam, we always miss you, bud.
Sam, of course we miss you, man.
Yep, just like that. That's the end of qualifying. 10 minutes, man, and it clicked off in no time
Went by really
at all.
quick.
Yeah. Steve Baker going to have the pole for tonight as we get ready to go through the grid. Tonight's pole winner, driver of the number 55, it's Steve Baker with a 131.7912 is outside. The driver of the 88, that's Katie. Dale Osborne, a 131.921. Very, very close on that front row. Starting in third spot tonight, the driver of the number 48, that's Josh Spalding, with Troy Radford starting to his outside in fourth. In fifth place tonight, it's going to be Justin Rigsby, with Dustin Ping started to his outside in sixth. Chris Mefford picking up seventh spot in his number 46, and Brandon Hartwell in the 01 in eighth position. In ninth, Rick, it's going to be Eric Blunt in the number 6 car, and to his outside on row number 5, it's Dylan Blankenship.
Starting out grid row number 6, Chris, it's going to be the 28 of Dustin German starting 11th. Next to him is the 82 of Tyler Hilton in 12th. And row number 7 is going to be the 45 of Doug Wysocki starting in 13th. Next to him, the 98 of Aaron Tolhurst in 14th. Row number 8 is going to consist of the 24 of Sean Cool. Damian Cox in the 57 going to be starting 16th. Stephen Allen going to be starting that 14th and 17th position. Next to him is going to be the 25 of Chris Spencer. That's going to be grid row number 9. Grid row number 10, we got the 17 of AJ Rogers starting here in 19th. Russell Brown Jr. in the 00 starting 20th. And then rounding out the field, bringing up that shotgun position is going to be the number 8 of Doug Johnson starting 21st.
Keeping it in blimp view so we can get a good look at this track. It is big. 2.47 miles. It is fast. Slight schedule change. We dropped from 70 laps down to 50. It's going to be 124 miles.
Obviously, I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's watching there on the Turn 3 Racing Network, Chris. to Vaportrail, to RSC for having us here our last Tuesday night, buddy. At least for a little while. And to Team 43, aka the Bubba Wallace fan group.
That's right. I haven't even mentioned that yet.
I wasn't sure. I was running late. I know.
Yeah, this
Doc
is
you
going
for
to be
my
our
pay.
last one.
Yeah.
The venerable KR Stolfus taking back control after next week's week off for these guys. That'll be fun too, Rick. Then we can just sit back and watch them instead of having to broadcast.
Oh, you know we will. I don't know what we're going to do with all our free time. It's going to start coming up pretty quick. I mean, it's going to be crazy. Used to this whole schedule now.
I'm going to go with rest.
Amen. Yeah, there will be some of that. And I want you to know that I did not give you the cold that you have today.
I appreciate that.
Definitely wasn't from me, although it could have been. Now I feel real bad. Gotta take that elderberry.
I've got a couple of things here I'm looking to take as the Porsche drops on the pit road, getting ready to send these guys under the green flag. Again, the pole sitter is the 55. That's Steve Baker. The 88, Katie Dale Osmond on the outside. And we are under green, Rick.
And if that flag man waves that green flag any faster, you might fall out there. Chris can tell you one person who is fast. That puts by Steve Baker. He gets a really good starter. Katie Osmond, he moves up behind him. These guys kind of slow it up a little bit here through. Now, this is one of my favorite corners, man. It's pretty fast. Like to call it the snake. You get to go uphill.
Yeah, and then right back down it.
Right back down. Let me tell you, this is one of the cleanest and best starts I've seen in a long time on a road course. There's usually guys really charge into that first corner there. They crack each other up, bang each other up, and these guys, they just went single file right off the bat. Very clean, very respectful. They know it's a long race around here.
Well, that's it. You're not going to win this one on the first lap. That much I can guarantee you. These guys know it too. So it's just a matter of staying close enough to the guy ahead of you for a pass, and then see what unfolds from there. And right now, I'll tell you what's unfolding, Rick, and that's the 55 and the 88 starting to separate themselves. They were the cream of the crop during practice. They were the cream of the crop during qualifying. And so far on track, nothing has changed.
As they go through the hairpin, it's going to allow everybody to kind of catch up. One person that really caught up there was the 48, Joshua Spalding. He started in third, sitting in third. Right behind him, the 94, Troy Radford. He started in fourth, sitting in fourth. Dustin Ping moved up one position from sixth to fifth. Justin Rigsby started fifth. He fell down one. Sitting in sixth position right now. And that guy looking mighty good out there on track tonight. The old one of Brandon Hartwell. I like that paint scheme. That kind of reminds me of the old Wrangler scheme in a sense. I love the Michigan out there. Dylan Blankenship in that number 5 machine. He started 10th. He moved himself up to 8th position. Eric, I have a feeling we're killing your name, but we haven't heard any different yet. So Blanc. I like that. Number 6 car, he is sitting in 9th. Started there in 9th, so holding his own. Chris Medford started here tonight in 7th. Chris fell down. He's rounding out the top 10 right now in that number 46. We got Tyler Hilton in 82 sitting there in 11th. He started 12th, so he moved up a position. Justin German, the guy who started in that position, has fallen down to 12th. John Cool in that number 24 machine. He started 15th. He's moved up a couple positions up to 13th. Doug Wysocki, I have a feeling I'm going to be watching this man because I think he's going to do something. He started here 13th tonight. He's only sitting in 14th. Not too bad. AJ Rogers there in the 17th. Started 19th. He's sitting in 15th, so he moved up. 25 of Christopher Spencer, sitting in 16th position. He's moved up a couple there also. Aaron Tolhurst right behind him in 17th. That 98 looking pretty good. Started here 14th, sitting in 17th. Doug Johnson, we knew him. He started there in the shotgun position, Chris. He's definitely on his way. Moving up. He started 21st, sitting in 18th. Russell Brown Jr. in that 00, sitting in 19th. Steven Allen in the 14, 20th. And Damian Cox in that number 57, rounding out the field, 21st.
Now it's a trip around the field, and Steve Baker is your race leader, and he is starting to stretch it out a little bit over KD. Gap right now about a second. Josh Balding having a little bit of an issue, and the 94, Troy Radford, looking to the inside around this right-hand corner, and he takes that position away. So Troy Radford moving up to third spot with a nifty little move to the inside. Dustin Ping rounding out that top 5. KD trying to close the gap a little bit. The gap just under a second for a moment, but Baker able to stretch it out as they go along this very fast section of the track. Back into the braking section, and then back into a quick section. These guys are busy in the cockpit tonight.
Yeah, they definitely are, Chris. Now, when I came down here at 8 o'clock, I knew the session opened up, and I watched a little bit of practice with KD there. He was fast, so. You know, I know Baker was right there with him, but I have a feeling that KD might be saving a little bit right now.
Best to not let him go too far ahead here tonight. Can't count on a caution to let you close the gap at all here, so. 94, Troy Radford moving up to one position into third. Spalding falling back to fourth.
He got a little air there as he went across the rumbles.
And we just saw the 0-1 of Brandon Hartwell doing the same thing. Got to be careful of those two. Those rumble strips will upset your car, and that'll kick you out to the outside. If somebody's close enough to you, you can set yourself up for a pass. And speaking of, Dylan Blankenship having some troubles going off track, trying to gather it back up. He does. Oh, he gets into the 6 because the 6 was tight.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my. Eric Blanc coming out of nowhere and just T-boning the 5 of Blankenship. So a little damage to the 6 and to the 5 now, as Eric Blanc losing a ton of position, Rick, all the way back to 15th.
Harry, I believe we haven't heard any difference, so it is going to be local cautions only.
Yeah, I believe that's the case because that's how we used to do it. I'm pretty sure they didn't change that. So Eric Blanc trying to fight back now. He's got that 6. Oh, he gets into the 17. The 17 goes around, able to put the binders on. Blanc racing a little aggressive now. I know he's upset from that other one, but Blanc gets a little aggressive, gets into the 17. AJ Rogers. Rogers ends up losing another position to the 25 of Chris Spencer before getting back up to speed. Aaron Tolhurst in the 98, kind of taking it easy out there a little bit so far. Running in 18th position, not really pushing that car too hard. Wants to keep it straight for the end. Don't blame him. Good looking car. Sometimes white, that simple white with his message of the Wounded Warrior Project stands out. I'm sorry, that's not the Wounded Warrior Project, is it? I know better than that.
No, that's the Battle Buddy Foundation.
Battle Buddy Foundation, yep. Oh,
but, you know, like you said, you know, that, yeah, and a little blink there from Tolhurst. Like you said, Chris, you know, just plain white. Got that black message there on the hood. A little bit on the quarter panel in the back, man. It just sends that message loud and clear right there.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, we got some sad news out of the 5 camp. Chris Dylan Blankenship not able to recover after that off track there and that little accident there that he got into. I believe that was with the 6 of Blanc. So Dylan Blankenship packing it up for the night. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, really unfortunate very early on in this race to have issues. Cause you not to be able to continue on, but the rest of the field does continue on. The 55 starting to lose a little ground now to KD. The gap just 0.8 of a second. So KD trying to march it towards the race leader, and he closes in pretty good before this right-hander. Braking points, very important on a road course. You have to brake correctly so that you can power out of the corner. And right now, Baker's showing him how it's done because he has stretched that lead out just like that, Rick. 1.2. Got to go back a little ways, about 5 seconds to get to third spot, Troy Radford. Radford setting for that tight right-hander. And he's got the 48 of Josh Spalding behind him. Trying to catch all the action out there for you guys.
I've been watching Troy Radford there a little bit in the 94 because he's got a really good line. You know, I know Troy. We've raced with Troy enough to know that he's just taking it as easy as he possibly can. Not so easy that he's going to fall, you know, super far back. I mean, right now, like you said, the gap in front of him about 5.783. Gap to the leader 6.85. But he's looking to just protect his equipment, protect those tires as long as he can. Make up a little time later, like you said, Josh, following the number 48, Smoke Show Racing, Florida Gators on the side. Out there, he started third. He fell down to fourth. That's okay. You got the 9. American Kart Track Promoters Association.
I was watching Dustin Ping a little bit, and he's got himself a good little car. But Brandon Hartwell coming up behind is closing the gap, and it's not going to be much longer before these guys are going to be battling for position as Hartwell has reached the back bumper of the 9 of Ping. Ping really known for his speedway abilities, and tonight putting that road course work ahead of him, running in 5th spot.
And of course, we're with the Racing for a Cause guys, so I always like to look at these paints, and let me tell you, Dustin Ping's, you know, he's got the American Kart Track on there, but he's also got the American Society for Deaf Children, so that's pretty cool. That really fits in with that car. It looks really good, man.
And the whole one of Hartwell is letting it all hang out as he comes around that corner sideways, trying to find a way to get her to that 9 car once again because he lost about a half a second there. But Hartwell really trying to be aggressive here in the early stages and crack into that top 5, and I can't blame him, Rick.
He's really going to get really hard on the brake here, and he's going to try to work on the inside there of Ping, but got a little loose there coming off. Yeah, Hartwell definitely trying to put the University of Michigan 0-1 in victory lane tonight.
And Rick, something happened to KD as he is on pit road, or maybe just stopping early. Maybe looking for that advantage of fresh tires out there.
It looks like he might have just taken 2 there, Chris.
Interesting strategy out of KD.
I'm probably just checking to see how his tires have worn through these last 8 laps to see what they're doing.
Well, the big news with that is Troy Radford slides into 2nd spot, 7.6 seconds behind your race leader, the 57 of Damon Cox, having a little bit of an issue. He slides away from the leader, still not running right now. The 57, 1 lap down, and may be calling it a night.
While you're checking that out, Chris, I'm hanging out here with Justin Rigsby. Justin always has really cool paint schemes, Chris. This 99water.org looks really good out here tonight, man. I love those colors. That car looks sharp. He's starting to catch up to the back of the 01 there, so he's going to be going for 5th place here shortly. Going to try to pour it on a little bit there with Hartwell. As they come into the hairpin here, that really sharp right-hand turn, you're going to see he's going to catch up there just a little bit. As we pass, it looks like that was Troy Radford there coming down pit road also.
Yep.
Yeah, these guys under a little bit different. They're playing with their pits. That's what's going to win a race tonight. It's going to be once those guys figure out what these tires are doing. Especially Troy. I mean, he's a very technical racer. I used to love running with Troy because he would always, and he's one of those drivers, like a lot of drivers, even in the league, you know, they'll be protective of what they know. But not Troy. He's always there, willing to help anybody out.
Yeah, there was certainly times when he has helped me, and I'll never forget that. I really do appreciate that. If I'm having trouble with an entry or something, he'd help me along. And sometimes it was, 20, 30 minutes of his time. He'd just dedicate that to me and help me kind of find a little extra speed. I really, really do appreciate that still to this day. But top 5 shaking up a little bit with some of these pit stops. Rick Baker up front, and he's got a nice lead, a 9.5 second lead over Josh Spalding. Spalding is doing a little off-roading there in the 48. Dustin Ping is in 3rd spot. The 01 Brandon Hartwell behind him in 4th. Rigsby in the top 5 now because Troy Radford came down pit road.
Talking about doing a little off-road, Chris. I'm back here in 6th place with Chris Mefford, and then number 46, Cancer.org, mission 22. Chevy Camaro. He went off track there a little bit, was able to collect it, so did a good job doing his thing out there. And then right behind him, it's the 88 of Dale Osmond, good old KD. Missed that sun drop. I refresh rating paint too, just to make sure, Chris. But that looks like that might be the scheme that he's working with tonight.
Well, KD, the first driver to come on down pit road, and right now it seems to be paying dividends as he is marching his way back through the field. It didn't take him long to get back to Chris Mefford. Yeah, Terry, you're absolutely right.
Absolutely right, Terry. Now go ahead, Chris, and put this on record, because I'm back here in 8th place, okay, with Dustin German and that 28 SRTV network machine. I gotta say, the colors on that Mustang makes that thing look mean. I would almost buy one of those if it looked like that. Almost.
I love the GT look on that car.
It looks sharp.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
I got a car I need you to paint.
I know you do. Soon, buddy, soon. We're going to have plenty of time to do that. Well, Chris, I'm back here in 10th position right now. Actually, 9th. But he's working on 10th. We got Troy Radford back out there who's working on Eric Blanc right now. That number 6, Autism Speaks. I love this paint, dude. I mean, this car looks sharp no matter where you put it. That Autism Speaks, man. I love that. That is a beautiful, beautiful paint job. He just got passed by the Kidney Foundation, number 94, Troy Radford. So Blount sitting in 10th. Right behind him, the 8 of Doug Johnson. Doug's got a little bit of work to do. They're doing a good job. I mean, he started out here in shotgun in 21st position, moved up to 11th. You can't complain about that at all.
No, that's good moving so far out of the 18. Just kind of watching some of these lap times, Rick, and some of these guys that have come down pit road already, and there is a difference on track. So
yeah, there really is.
Baker doing a very good job on those old tires. And it's going to become a fuel thing at some point. And maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe these early stops are the only stop they have to make, although I would doubt that. It's a long distance to drive.
Yeah, it really is. We got 40 laps left to go. Track is huge. 2.53 miles, if I remember correctly.
Sun really is working its way onto that track. It is 100 degrees now. It was only double digits during qualifying and practice, so track warming up a little bit. If you like a loose car, this might be to your benefit. As the sun baking down on Steve Baker.
I'm back here in 12th position with Russell Brown Jr. in the Icon Race Service number 00. He's out there doing a good job. He's starting to catch up to the back there, Doug Johnson. So in a few more laps, I would think Johnson's going to start racing through his rear view and not just the windshield. Go back a little further. That beautiful number 18 or 82, Vegas Strong. Pretty cool. Tyler Hilton making up that paint there for the folks that we lost. Las Vegas got all the names of the victims on the trunk lid.
Well, back out up front, and Steve Baker still running away with this one. 15.6 seconds ahead of Josh Spalding in the 48 in second place. Dustin Ping running in third. Brandon Hartwell fourth. KD has made his way back up into the top 5, running in 5th place.
We got Chris Mefford in the 46, sitting in 6th.
Ooh, we got the 25 of Spencer at a dead stop.
Dead stop, yeah.
Spencer
Taking a toe into pit road.
takes a toe, yeah. Unfortunate, because that takes a long time here at this track.
Most certainly does.
KD now running 4th place. Chris Mefford up in 5, yeah.
Back into the top 5. Justin German in the 28, sitting in 6th. Troy Radford in the 94, sitting in 7th. Eric Blount in 8th. Justin Rigsby just moved up into the 9th position in that number 99 machine. Dustin Ping in the 9, rounding out the top 10 right now.
Terry, you're absolutely right. Because of our affiliation with Racing for a Cause, Rick and I were still league admins, owners, when the Johnson brothers both joined Racing for a Cause way back in the day. And they're just good guys. They're a lot of fun to race with. They're funny in the chat radio. It's good stuff.
You know, and they always, the greatest thing about it, and usually it wasn't Doug. Doug's usually he's the quiet one, usually. When you get John Johnson out there, man, so we'd have like a big lull in the race where, you know, everybody might be a little PO'd at something. You know, we're all grumpy. Nobody's talking on the radio. And John Johnson would just start making like wisecracks. And then Doug would warm up a little bit. And then he would start cracking. And he would just get us all laughing, man. Make us forget everything bad about the race. So those guys, a great job.
Yeah.
They're doing a great thing with the pit stall. I know I have that t-shirt somewhere. Actually, I think the wife might have stole that one from me. I haven't seen that one in a while.
So a couple other drivers coming down pit road, Josh Spalding and Hartwell. And that puts KD back into 2nd spot. That pit strategy seems to be working out, Rick, because he's only about 26 seconds behind Steve Baker. And let's face it, it takes a lot more than 26 seconds to take a pit stop here.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I mean, I know KD came in and he just took, I don't know if I should say it because there's a lot of people who haven't taken tires yet, but they were left side.
Terry's out there saying, hey, I have mine. Well, Terry, you don't have his wife. I think that's the moral of the story. T-shirt grabber. Steve Baker giving up the race lead right now, Rick. He is coming down pit road, and that should allow KD to start reeling him in. Very, very... Ooh, Steve Baker almost missed pit road. Don't know what he was thinking there, but he was heading right for the wall jut out. And then a hard left-hand turn down on the pit road.
That's the tough thing on this track, man. Getting onto pit road, you got to do it just right.
Right sides are up on the 55. He's not moving. It looks like he's going to take 4. KD has already gone by, assuming the race lead. Let's see what the differential is. When he gets back out on track. Looks like it's about 10 seconds, a little over 10 seconds. So KD has a little bit of room to breathe, just has to hit his marks. Of course, by that I mean he has to hit the braking points correctly and the accelerator pedal points correctly. Careful not to spin those tires around the corner. You don't want to do damage to the tires. Chris Mefford finds himself in 2nd place in the 46. He has not come down pit road yet, so he's running those original tires. Still doing a good job getting around this track.
Yeah, but it's not going to be long before Steve Baker's breathing down his neck, though. That's the issue.
Well, that's true. Now, the other question to that is, how long does it take for Baker to pass him? You know, they're both going to be fighting for pretty much the same area as we go side by side around the hairpin, and it doesn't take Baker long at all. Around the 46 he goes.
And that thing just stuck right where he wanted it to.
Strong pass out of the 55 puts Mefford back in the third spot. Remember, Mefford has not come down pit road yet. And he's one of the last drivers not to. Looks like two other drivers, Aaron Tolhurst and Steve Allen, the only two drivers out there aside from Mefford that have not come down pit road yet. And looks like Dustin German is actually on pit road right now.
It looks like we might have another driver packing it up here for them tonight, Chris. I see Joshua Spalding, the number 48 machine, not in the server right now. Loading up that 48, most likely packing it up, unless, I mean, I know you and I got some weather that blew through here, and it's been a little crazy here tonight. Actually, I hear a little bit of thunder still outside. But it looks like right now, Josh Spalding not on track, not in the server. Possibly packing it up here for the night.
Yeah, there was some pretty vicious lightning going on when I let the dog out before this race started. He's not a fan of any kind of rain, so I was surprised he wanted to even go out. 7.8 seconds. That's the distance from Dale Osborne to Steve Baker. KD, one of the first drivers to come down pit road. Steve Baker came down just about a lap and a half, 2 laps ago. Last time across the stripes. KD with a 135.714. Steve Baker with a 133.576, 2 seconds faster the last lap. So new tires. Steve Baker feeling it. Steve Baker, no slouch, Rick. He was the very first champion in Racing for a Cause, season 1, when it was Wednesday night short tracks only. Fast forward 4 years, he's out there trying to do it again. He is in the lead in the point standings coming into tonight.
It's been that long already? 4 years?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah, Steve Baker, you ask him. I bet you can send you a picture of the trophy that we got him too.
Yeah, that was a big deal back in the day, man. That was
the original 9.
Yep. High 90s in Ohio. I had my sweatshirt on most of the day.
Yeah, today wasn't, I mean, it wasn't bad. It was one of the warmer days that we're going to have this week. It was like 74, I think is what it hit today. Maybe 75, but it was still cool. Then we had a little thunderstorm roll in here just as I started to go outside. Letting the dog out, I was like, okay, I got to get the water off the pool cover. And then it rained buckets. So, okay, maybe not today. Get some highs of 37 at night coming here the next couple of nights. So that's going to be interesting.
Terry, the quick answer is yes, he did. I have them. For some reason, they don't load. I have everybody in Racing for a Cause, and some of them don't load either. It's something with the overlay. Not sure what it is. I haven't had a chance really to look into it at all.
Holy cow.
Well, buddy, pretty soon it'll snow, so.
Enjoy it while you can. They're talking snow in the mountains here the next couple of nights, possible.
Not ready for that either. Still have to winterize the boat.
Might want to do it soon, buddy, because Tomorrow's only going to be 60. Tomorrow night, 36 degrees. Friday, it's going to be 51 during the day, 33 at night.
See how I'm feeling this weekend.
Welcome to Vermont.
Yeah.
30 tomorrow night and 90 tomorrow.
Snow in the morning, 80 degrees in the afternoon. True story. You got one off track just ahead of your race leader, and that is the number 98, I believe, of Tolhurst, as he went to examine some of that dead grass off track. You want to make sure, Rick, it was good and dead. It was.
Ooh, Sean Cool. I think Sean Cool's stuck right now.
Oh, Sean Cool stuck. His power wheel off the ground. The 24 gonna have to take a tow. That is gonna take his night out. Already down a lap, and man, that's not gonna be good. And the 88 marches on. He's got a 5-second lead still over Steve Baker in this run. He's gone about 3 laps longer than he did the first time. I believe he pitted on lap 8 the first time through. Now working lap 19. Oh, the problem with that, Terry, is I have all the buttons. I have to be there. Plus, with the run you're on right now, bud, I wouldn't ask you to get out of the cockpit, not for a minute.
No, man, you got 2 races left, and you've been doing really good. And eventually, I know we're going to be talking to you, not just in the beginning of the race, but at the end.
Oh, I would love for that to happen. There, you want to make me feel better, Terry? Finish top 3 this coming Sunday night.
At our favorite track, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I can't wait.
I sense sarcasm.
Got to be on every schedule.
Taking a look at the distance between your race leader in second place, and that gap is closing, Rick. 3.2 seconds. Still about a 2-second differential between those 2 drivers. But KD holding on pretty decent. Remember, he only took 2 tires that first time through.
I just got word out of the 24 camp. He's going to be joining the 48 and the 5, Chris, packing that thing up in the hauler. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate for Sean Cool. Not able to get it done tonight. Oh, Terry, you could tell. The way you were running, absolutely could tell. Hopefully this Sunday night, man, like I said, you want to make me feel better. Finish in the top 3, see what happens. Gap continuing to close, although the speed differential now on track is just over a second. Excuse me, just under a second.
KD got off track there just a little bit, able to hang on. Steve Baker really able to close it up there, Chris.
Yeah, Baker's 4 tires getting it done. But that was just 6 laps ago. KD working with 13 lap old tires right now as he gets set for that sharp right hand turn. But you can almost hear that Jaws theme music right now, Rick, you know?
Oh yeah. Baker's smiling. We know he is.
He doesn't smile when he's driving, Rick. He's a machine.
He is a machine. That is true.
Let's check in with the 4th place starter tonight. He's running in 3rd place right now. It's Troy Radford. Radford is about 18 seconds behind the front 2 right now, but still maintaining 3rd spot behind him. Brandon Hartwell within striking distance, about 2 seconds behind. So Hartwell having a really fantastic night tonight. 4th place runner. Off track right now, back on. Dustin Ping in the 9, holding on to that top 5 spot with Justin Rigsby behind him in the 99. Dustin German holding on to 7th place in his number 28, and Chris Mefford back to 8th spot after coming down pit road about 3 laps ago. Tyler Hilton in the 82. We see him working this uphill, slight right and left, running in 9th position right now. Eric Blount, and that I think that's one of the most beautiful cars on track. I really do.
Yeah, I dig that car.
Eric running in 10th position right now. Behind him, AJ Rogers in the 17. Russell Brown in the 00 running in 12th. Doug Wasaki running 13th position right now. Wasaki having a quiet but good night. Behind him by just a little bit, the number 8 of Doug Johnson. And as I was talking, Rick, darn it, I was trying to keep paying attention, but I missed it. Steve Baker goes around the 88, and the 88 says, okay, I'm coming down pit road. It's been long enough. 14 laps on that set of tires for KD.
Now, Terry, you go and tell Mark that if he wants to impress me that we will run in New Hampshire next week, but it's going to be the road course. That is one of the most unloved road courses on iRacing, I think. And it's actually quite fun. I've done a lot of laps there in the Skippy.
You know where I like to run the Skippy?
Everywhere.
Laguna Seca.
I told you, you'd run everything. Those little coolers with the motor, I can see Chris on Laguna Seca on that. Yeah. Porta potty, as long as it's got a motor, he don't care.
No, that's pretty much true.
All thanks to what, Gran Turismo, was it?
Well, that's
Or
what.
Forza.
No, it was Gran Turismo. Was the first time I had driven the track, and I was really excited when I came over to iRacing, and I'm like, hey, this track is familiar, and I couldn't place it. I drove a couple of laps, and all of a sudden I'm like, hey, I really do know this track. And went back to Gran Turismo for a moment and said, oh yeah, okay. Came back into iRacing, never looked back again because, man, is it fun.
I think there was one night we're doing like 6 hours Laguna Seca. I mean, that's all we're doing. We're just having fun. And I'm driving, and it's about midnight, and also I hear. And that's Chris. He's snoring. He fell asleep, but he still had the fastest car out there. The guy doesn't even use his eyes open. He just knows where to go.
Do love road racing. Dustin Ping out in 2nd spot now. That 9 looking pretty good, but he decides to come down pit road, and Justin Rigsby in the 99 coming down with him. So Dustin and Justin splitting off. And that puts KD back into 2nd spot, Rick. 35 seconds behind Baker. And with those fresh tires, man, we should be making up time pretty darn quick. We're going to have to wait till the next lap completed to figure out exactly where he stands versus the race leader. Last time by, Steve Baker running a 1:35.307. Katie a little bit slow on the first lap out of pit road, which is pretty normal because of things just like that. That little slip and slide there, that's because the tires aren't warmed up yet, not enough grip in them. So you have to take it a little easy that first couple of laps out there. After that, hop right into it for about 6 or 7, and then you'll start to back off again. Having to shift on every turn. Oh, Kara, you wouldn't believe what I've got going on over here. I have over 80 inches of screen space, and I don't have a blank spot on my monitors. I have a stream deck that helps me to transition in between each scene as the race progresses. I have the Go XLR, which is an audio mixer, which I think has really stepped up the quality of the broadcast between Rick and I. Rick went out and bought one too.
I think you're right. I love this thing.
Yeah, and it does, change your voice a little bit. But yeah, it's amazing, and that's not including the computer that I especially built just to do this. I'm rocking a AMD processor, 16 cores. Make sure that I have enough cores to make sure that the video is as smooth as possible. And that's 16 gigs of RAM, 3 different SSD drives in the computer. I have a 4 gig spin drive that I've got to put in still.
Yeah, just like we should play games on our out time. I'm like, okay, what do you want to play? Whatever I got installed, because I got no room. I'm like, you just bought a storage drive. He's like, I haven't put it in yet.
I've got a 4-pin USB port card installed on my motherboard so that I have enough USB ports to go. And I think that just about wraps it up. There's enough. I'll tell you, there's enough. And then, of course, underneath my desk, I have my wheel and pedals. I've used them twice. They're collecting dust right now. I need to get those out, clean them off, get back out on track. And I want to do that. It's going to mean giving up broadcasting. But this is iRacing, not iBroadcasting. And as much fun as I have doing this, well,
every now and then it's good to take a break and get back on the other side. I mean, because you and I, we started racing for a cause, of course, with our friend Andy. A lot of the drivers are still there, having fun, making us proud. And, admitting that took a big toll out of us. We did it for a while, and we had to take a break, and we found this love of broadcasting. Started out with the Racing for a Cause TV, Catamount Motorsports. Grew from there. Now, Turn 3 Racing Network. And we've been doing this for quite a while, and now it's time for a little break again.
Troy Radford running in 3rd spot behind KD. Radford came down pit road the same time as Osmond did. Brandon Hartwell, same as them, and he's running in 4th position. So a wide variety of different strategies as far as pit stops go. You know what's funny about that? I miss my G27. I really do. I bought this beautiful Logitech steering wheel, beautiful Pro pedals, and I miss that darn G27 setup.
Well, that's where we got our starting on, You go what, the 290?
Oh, the
now,
01 going around. Brandon Hartwell was catching the back bumper of the 94 and just goosed it around a little bit, able to correct and get back out on track. But man, that was a moment there for Brandon Hartwell.
A little pucker moment. So, I mean, now that you have another paint, now I already got like 3 of them that I want to work on that are in my mind. So you got to remember what you wanted tonight so you can tell me tomorrow so I could add it to my list.
Well, I think it's simple. The Mustang with the GT stripes.
Camaro with some racing stripes. Gotcha. We'll even make it Dodge blue for you. We'll do Viper blue with the white pinstripe.
Viper red would be cool. That's all of the one that I drove in real life when I was a tech for Dodge.
Now we need to get iRacing at 350Zs in here so I can make mine. That was fun.
I'm kind of surprised there isn't any Nissan products in this.
Here's one. That old school.
Oh, that old Skyline, yeah.
That's cool. Maybe we should put those on New Hampshire on a Sunday.
Well, I promised I would do it, and it's been a couple of laps now. Last lap time for Steve Baker, a 1:35.135. KD Dale Osmond, a 1:34.573. So KD is running faster on track right now. Remember, Baker able to come back out after his pit stop, and took him about 5 laps or so to close the difference on KD and retake the lead. KD looking to do the same. Now it's going to become a matter of pit strategy, and when do you take that last pit stop? Cobalt yellow. Yeah, here comes Steve Baker. Just as we were talking about it, Rick, he is coming down pit road, 13 laps on those set of tires, and that was enough for the 55 machine. As he starts coming down pit road, we'll see if he does that same hard left-hand jerk. No, does it a lot sooner this time. Coming down pit road. You know, I did forget one thing on that list, Rick, because I don't even have it plugged in right now because I'm not using it, but when I'm racing, I am in VR.
Yeah, we get them VR things.
And
Every now and then when I need to sleep or just chill out for a little bit, I'll put that on, just listen to the home screen music. I won't.
It is awful relaxing, isn't it?
It is.
So I've been looking into some of the new VRs that are out there, Rick. You know, the big thing is the S and the Quest, and I don't know if you saw, but the Quest is making a lot of news right now because of some of the stuff that they're doing and going to be doing through this year and into next. So I don't know, man. Right now I'm going to hold off, but certainly sometime next year I'm thinking it's going to be time to pull the trigger once again.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Now, you know me, I've already told you a couple times, I was thinking about the S, and actually just last week I read an article saying that they don't understand what Oculus was doing when they came out with that, because then they made the Quest, and the Quest is, a lot of people are saying 10 times better.
Well, the refresh rate is a little slower, so it's got that as a bit of a drawback. But with everything else the Quest is going for it, including the fact that they're going to come out with a cable so you can connect it to your PC, man, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those, let's just hang out and wait a little bit. Maybe not this Black Friday, but the Black Friday next year. And then something else will come out.
The thing I was most interested in, and I can't believe we've gotten to this point, but next year the Quest is going to say goodbye to the hand controllers. No longer will they be needed for a true immersive experience. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where that plays out. Certainly it won't be new technology by the time we get it, if we end up going that way, but man, I am excited for the future. Kids these days, they don't know how good they have it. Rick, I remember my parents' TV when I was growing up still had aluminum foil on the antennas just to bring in the local channels.
Mm-hmm. Dad always went, hey boy, get up. Move those antennas. Go get the aluminum foil.
Go turn the channel.
Dad, you broke the dial. Here's a pair of vice grips. Don't put it on too tight.
Now the 88-year race leader, he's being followed very closely by Steve Baker. KD a little far away that time. I think Baker just didn't run as many laps, and that allowed him to stay a little closer to the back door of the 88 machine. Really, it's been a two-car battle here for the night. It's the 88 and the 55. As they go around Tyler Hilton, and Baker reassumes the lead. That happening right before the start-finish line, so we start lap number 30. 20 laps to go.
These guys, if they keep pouring it on like this, I think there's only one way to settle it, Chris. We're going to have to go to the drag strip down there. We'll get them lined up.
Well, here's a thought. Both cars probably going to stop one more time. Oh, shoot.
Yep.
Back then, let's see, that would have been the Kangaroo with the side pouch for your pocket change. There was about enough room for a quarter, a nickel, a dime, maybe a penny. No shoelaces. No, give me that Velcro. Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out to Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight we're watching the Racing for a Cause Vaportrail Cup Series. You're listening to Rick and I kind of carry on a little bit, trying to bring you the action, but man, this track's so big, you kind of get distracted away from it a little bit. Here we are. Hope it's entertaining. Hope you're having a lot of fun. We are watching the number 55 of Steve Baker with the 88 of KD. Dale Osmond right behind him in second spot. And these two have been battling it out essentially, Rick, since the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, they really have, but I mean, it's just been back and forth.
Yeah, in third spot. He started in fourth position tonight. It's Troy Radford in the 94 as he decides he didn't like the placement of those cones and moves them out of the way. Brandon Hartwell in the 01 doing a fine job tonight. He's running in the top four of that bright blue and yellow car. Running in fourth spot. Dustin Ping in the 9, rounding out the top 5. Justin Rigsby in the 99, rolling around this track in sixth spot with Chris Mefford in 7th. Dustin German in the 28, running in 8th position. Tyler Hilton running it one lap down in his number 82, 9th position. Eric Blunt in his number 6 car, off track right there, but running in 10th position. One lap down, and Russell Brown in the 00 in 11th position. Doug Wasaki has moved up one since the last time we talked to him, or about him rather. He's up in 12th position. AJ Rogers in the 17 and 13th. Doug Johnson, shotgun starter on the field tonight. He's running in 14th position with Aaron Tolhurst in 15th position. He is off track right now, trying to gather it back up. Tolhurst having a little bit of a connectivity issue, but still running in 15th spot. Steve Allen running his 14 in 16th position. Then you got to go through 17th, 18th, and 19th, all off track right now. That's Sean Cool, Josh Spalding, Chris Spencer, Damon Cox on pit road, but he's been there for about a half an hour. Ricky's being scored 24 laps down. Dylan Blankenship, unfortunately, tonight, the first guy to go out of off track. He's 29 laps down, will finish 21st position. Tom, thank you very much for coming out, and hope you really are enjoying the broadcast. It's a labor of love, and kind of just having a little fun here tonight in Sonoma with the Racing for a Cause guys. Of course, always have fun with those who choose to write to us in the chat, always watching that box. Interestingly enough, Rick, Baker not opening up that big of a lead, even though he's got fresher tires. He is opening up a lead, don't get me wrong, but it's only 1.8 seconds right now. This guy's been so very close all night long. That 55 just has a slight edge on track as far as speed tonight, and he's making use of it. See him pull away very, very nicely there on that very quick straightaway. And up the hill, getting set for the right-hand turn. Steve's such a pro out there. Does some real life racing, so it's no surprise to see him do well here in iRacing. The two do translate to some degree. 55 still out front. KD trying to close the gap a little bit, down to 1.5. Now 1.6 through the corner, but definitely is starting to close the gap a little bit as these tires are starting to equalize. Last time by, KD about 0.2 of a second slower than Baker, but this lap he seems to have a slight advantage, at least so far. Into that big right hand. A little bit of an endurance test here tonight for these guys too. That's the other thing we should talk about. This track will beat you up. You can't lose your focus, not even for a moment. You'll go off track, you'll spin, you'll go into the dirt, grass.
I think there's some grass there. Very little.
Hay. And just like I was saying, Baker is starting to slow down a little bit. These tires equalizing. Last time they crossed the start finish line, KD was about 0.8 of a second faster. So that gap starting to close in just a little bit. I think there are definitely strengths and weaknesses for both drivers here on this track, and it's starting to really show a little bit here. Yeah, you do, Terry. But we appreciate you not really working and actually watching the race. We won't tell your
That
boss,
we do.
promise. Ooh, KD really pushing that car hard. He came off the corner sideways that time by.
I mean, he can almost read with exactly the words on the back of Baker's bumper, Chris. He wants to get back up there and make a challenge for the lead again. Both these guys doing a really good job.
16 laps, make it 15 laps to go. So they cross the start-finish line. And this is actually boding pretty well for the 88.
Chris Stills a little bit there. So the tires are definitely going away. 13 laps on that set.
And that's the number that he came down pit road last time. Oh, no, he didn't. He stretched it out a little further. 13 was the number of laps that Steve Baker had.
Right.
So, still pit strategy. With 15 laps to go, these guys could almost come down pit road right now and just battle it out the rest of the way. It's not normally how it works. Usually one will go, the other will stay. The guy in second place has a little bit of an advantage here because he'll know if the 55 decides to go past pit road or not. And he could sneak in pit road and take advantage of those tires a little sooner. Of course, the worry there is, oh, and here comes the 88, just like that. Oh, he's coming down pit road, Rick.
I was thinking that if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it within the next lap or two. I mean, Baker's only got 7 laps on his tires, so, you know, and the thing is Baker is one of those drivers, Chris, that if the fuel stays, he will stretch them out. He will burn them tires off to there's not a lap.
Yeah, Linda, I understand.
The boy's on a mission.
Now, here's the thing. He's already proved once in this race that 2 tires is not a bad call. Will he go that way or not, Rick? That's the big question. And right now, 14.4 seconds in his pit stall. That's telling me he went ahead and got 4 to finish this race out.
See, you ruined it. I was going to ask Steve Baker was actually watching the chat before I said anything, but and if he is listening, you know, he just got a chuckle out of that one. I think I heard him over the radio.
4 different lead changes amongst those 2 drivers. Baker's like 28 laps. Osborne's been able to lead 8. Baker second fastest in practice, but took the pole in qualifying, and so far is really showing these guys around this track tonight. And here comes Steve Baker down pit road, so KD has got to get this thing going. Not a bad strategy from Baker to come right in, knowing that you have to take it easy that first lap and a half or so before the tires warm up. We'll go back to KD and see if he is.
And this pit entrance road is crazy.
Linda, hon, I want you to take 2 aspirin, because this one's going to come down to the last bit of this race, I think.
Looking at the numbers, I think you're right. There goes KD. Here comes Baker.
Baker back out on track, but couldn't come out at a worse time. He's got 2 cars right around him, and he has to try and work around those cars. That lets KD open up a little bit of a gap.
I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. It's going to get real good. We're about to see some really good racing for the league, I have a feeling.
That's the gap right now. You can see the difference between the 2 cars. It's about 2 seconds on track. And they do have some slower traffic around them, Rick, so this could be very big.
Oh, Baker got really loose there, Chris. A little too hard on them tires. You got to let them warm up, buddy. You know that. You taught me that.
Setting for that tight right-hand turn. The 17 kind of getting out of the way a little bit. And the race leader clears the 17. That's AJ Rogers. Now Steve Baker's got to try and find a spot to do it. And right now he is stuck behind the 17. AJ Rogers in that fast part of the course. You don't need a lot of tires for those straightaways. Now he's able to get around Baker. Able to get around AJ.
Well, Rogers is one of those really respectful racers, Chris. I knew he was going to try to wait just for the right moment to let Steve Baker by. And, you know, he went off track a little bit, just give him enough room. But here you go, buddy.
Well, you just got to do it safe. And that's what AJ was looking for. The 98 getting out of the way. That's Aaron Tolhurst, letting both KD and Steve Baker by. Gap 1.7 seconds right now. These guys have been so even all night long. Fantastic race amongst the top 2 drivers. 3rd place belonging to Troy Radford, Brandon Hartwell, Dustin Ping rounding out the top 5. Rigsby, Mefford, German, Blunt, and Hilton rounding out the top 10. Ooh, big slide out of the double 8. KD letting it hang. Just trying to get a little bit of heat in those tires, maybe. Really what he's trying to do is get away from Baker.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, that is one way to do it, but I don't know if I'd be doing it that close to Baker.
Hairpin right-hander. Baker starting to close in just a little bit here, Rick. 1.3 seconds is the gap between first and second at the line. 11 laps to go. About 25 miles left. 27 miles. Math.
You know, math is hard after a long day of work. You work with numbers all day. 10:15 p.m. right now. I was going to do some Common Core, but I wanted to have it out before KR takes over.
That's right. Next Tuesday, these guys are going to be off. The following Tuesday, KR Stolfus taking back control of the Tuesday night Racing for a Cause League. Rick and I will hold on to the Wednesday night short track action. That's what we're going to be doing tomorrow night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's Racing for a Cause Part 2, short track edition.
And then we get a little day off for a bro date. Go get a truck across the pond. Back at it Friday, off on Saturday, back at it on Sunday, then Monday. I don't know what we're gonna do with a break. Like we'll be sitting down here like waiting for it to go live. Like what's going on? Wait a minute, I didn't push the button. Oh, KR's back. Well, you're close. You're only 2 off, buddy.
Yeah, 86 to 88 is pretty close, Terry.
Let me tell you, I've been following KD Osmond as like the first time that he ever put up a Facebook page. I started following him. He's a really good kid. You know, he's kind of like Ian. He was one of those younger drivers that, you know, I really kind of watched throughout the RFC season and just watched him grow. And you know, I know he's been winning a lot this week, so he's definitely looking to put on another one here on a Tuesday night.
It's always about the incremental gains that you get while you're learning to race in your racecraft, Rick. And he is kind of reaching that next level, the 88. And it's so good to watch this kid grow. So thankful that we had a chance to race with him and Racing for a Cause and bring him aboard. It's been a lot of fun.
Most certainly.
KD, the race leader, with 9 laps to go. 1.9 is the distance back to Steve Baker, who has led 29 laps here so far. The 28, Dustin German, the car just ahead of your race leader, the 88 of Katie Osmond. Ford Mustang looking good out there.
Well, you know, Linda, you're absolutely right. I mean, I first met KR when he was a streamer on Twitch. He was just one of those cool guys that you just instantly fall in love with. I mean, his attitude is just great. He likes to make people laugh. Kind of like the class clown. He can get serious if he needs to, but what a great guy. And you know, when I found out that we could work with KR, I mean, you know, I kind of like watching people stream. I ain't gonna lie. He was one of the ones that I watched most every night that he was on. And then I found out that I was gonna be working with him, and you know, a little fanboy thing hit me. But KR's one heck of a guy.
Eight laps to go, and KD still holding on to the lead. Gap 1.4 seconds back to Steve Baker. And KD is looking at another slow car just ahead of him. That's Russell Brown in the 00 and that tight right-hander. Getting around the slower traffic here sometimes is the difference between winning and losing. So KD taking the inside on the left and gets around him very cleanly. Steve Baker wasting no time, doing the same. 8 laps
Brown
to go.
Yeah, Brown, very nice, respectful, pulled off the track for those guys. I mean, that can be dangerous too, because if he pops back on, you know, I mean, he doesn't want to ruin his race, so he's really got to watch his relative, make sure everything's good. But he's able to do it nice and cleanly, give those guys the respect, say, hey, you guys battle it out. Only got 8 laps left. Nobody wants to be the guy to take out one of the leaders.
Troy Radford sitting in 3rd spot. He had a great race last week. Rick ended up winning the race. Tonight looks like he may finish in 3rd spot if everything kind of stays the same right now. He does have about a 2.7 second lead over Brandon Hartwell in the 01 for Hartwell in 4th. Dustin Ping way back behind Hartwell, so top 4 positions looking pretty solid at this point. We're watching the 88, your race leader of KD, Dale Osmond, as he is leading with the 55 of Steve Baker right behind him. 1.3 seconds is the gap back to 2nd spot. KD has been able to lead 14 laps here tonight. Baker with 29. And during practice, KD was the fastest car on track by hundredths of a second. Not tenths, hundredths. These cars have been equal all night long.
They both put on a really good show, Chris. I mean, it's hard to pick who you want to win.
Yeah, unfortunately, there does have to be a winner, but man, such a great performance out of these top 2 drivers. Truly in a class of their own here tonight.
We've had 5 drivers here called to quit since the green flag dropped. Chris Tom Cool in that 24 machine, he's going to be finishing 17th. Joshua Spalding, the 48, is going to be finishing 18th. Christopher Spencer in the 25 going to be finishing 19th. Damian Cox, he got that 57 to 20th, and then Dylan Blankenship, the first one out, going to be in 21st.
We'll run through the field here. Katie Dale Osmond in 1st place. Steve Baker 2nd. Back in 3rd, it's Troy Radford, and he's a good distance away from the top 2 drivers. Brandon Hartwell about 2 seconds behind Radford in 4th spot. Dustin Ping running in 5th with Justin Rigsby, the 99 running in 6th spot. Chris Mefford in the number 46 running in 7th with Dustin German in the 28 running in 8th position. Eric Blunt in 9th. Tyler Hilton rounding out the top 10. Then it's Russell Brown in the 00 running in 11th position. AJ Rogers in 12th. Doug Wasaki running in 13th in his number 45. Doug Johnson in 14th position. Remember, Johnson starting 21st on the field tonight. Aaron Tolhurst in the 98 coming down pit road, but currently being scored in 15th position. And Steve Allen picking up the tail end of the field in 14th position. Top 6 drivers on the lead lap, and you see Baker starting to reel in KD. And man, is he reeling him in. He is on the back bumper. KD trying to stretch that lead back out through this quick, fast section. Back up the hill, setting up for that right hand after the short left. A little bit of an S-turn there. These guys, their arms must be feeling very, very tired at this point. This is an endurance race. That's what it is.
I think they were going to be doing 70 laps here tonight.
Yeah. No, good call by Troy to back it back down to 50.
You know, he did a little research. I mean, you want to be fair to these guys. I mean, he knows that it's Tuesday night. Tomorrow's another work day. Looked at those official races, said, whoa, okay, 70 might be too much. Let's back it down to 50. And I think that was a good call. I mean, these guys ain't used to turning left and right, man. I mean, they're oval racers.
Putting on a hell of a show here tonight, though. My goodness.
They're doing a fabulous job.
Baker using all of the track the last couple of turns and then some. He's kicking up the dust.
Yeah, Katie knows that Baker, especially in that tight right-hand turn, Chris, that they just went through, he knows that Baker likes that inside lane, so Katie's been closing that off on him. But,
ooh, the 55 makes a power move to get to the side of the 88 for a moment. Can't complete the pass, and the 88 able to stay up front, but the 55 just reminding him, hey, I'm here.
yeah, Katie, if he's got the spotter on, man, that probably just woke him up. He's probably sitting there going, car side what? Car where?
KD virtually locking up the right front tire on that last corner. Brakes are getting warm.
Kevin Rogers out there in chat. Come on, Russ, the bus that will never bust. I like it.
Oh, this could be big here, Rick.
Oh boy.
KD has the inside on this right-hand turn, but the cars are equal side by side. KD tries to power off. Can't hold on to the lead. Steve Baker taking it over. 4 laps to go, and Steve Baker back up front. KD fought as hard as he could for as long as he could, and the 55 moving towards the front and taking control of this race once again. And when they cross the start-finish line, flagman will have 3 fingers out, indicating 3 laps to go. Steve Baker able to pull off a pass on the 88. And the 88's tires seem to be going away a little bit. Rick, he's getting sideways a lot on those corners now.
Oh, he just had a lot of fun leading those laps. He sees Baker go around him. He wants to get back up there, but got to be careful. I mean, KD, after Baker passed him, he got a little bit squirrely there, but he was able to hang on to it. So he knows that those tires, I mean, they're pretty much equal. I mean, KD's got 1 extra lap on his set. But this time, you're starting to see, you know, like you said, Flagman had 3 fingers up. This time by, it's going to be 2.
Well, this time by, Flagman will have 2 flags in his hand. Rick, he'll have the white flag and the checkered flag vertical in the air, running them side by side, indicating 2 laps to go. And what KD has to do is he has to settle down just a little bit. Can't drive with emotion here. He's got to use his brain. And he may be able to catch the back bumper. As Terry said, can't hear the fat lady yet. And I don't. Absolutely don't. The pass is just a turn away here at Sonoma. Ooh, 55 getting a little loose, trying to push that car a little hard. 2 laps to go. And this one drawing near. About 5 miles left for KD to try and see if he can get around Steve Baker in the 55. KD able to follow the footsteps of the 55, gets a little wiggle, so loses just a little bit of track position. Takes that corner a little bit wider on entry, comes out a little less shallow. Gets a little sideways again. One-tenth of a second, Rick. That is the difference between last lap time between these 2 drivers.
Yeah, it's very close out there. I mean, these guys put on one heck of a show here tonight. We ain't done yet. Anything can happen. All it's going to take, Baker making 1 mistake, and KD's going to be able to capitalize. But it's not too often that Baker makes those mistakes.
Next left-hand turn, they're getting ready to go to the white flag lap, last lap of the race. And that starts now. 2.5 miles to go to decide this one. Can KD catch the back bumper and try and pass the 55 of Baker? KD letting it slide through that right-hander. Oh, gets on the throttle and it goes sideways again. The back tires on the 88 are shot. Have to drive smooth. Can't overpower the car. .55 starting to gap him just a little bit. Through the S turns now. Steve Baker in control of the field. Has about a 0.4 of a second gap between himself and KD. KD getting wild on the wheel, trying to catch him, but not going to happen if he goes sideways. And he power slides right through the second to last corner. Steve Baker going to be a race winner here tonight from Sonoma with KD Osmond finishing in second place. Great run out of these two drivers. So very happy for them both to be able to finish 1 and 2 like that. Putting on a great show here tonight. Troy Radford going to try and lock down third place. And the 01 of Brandon Hartwell goes way out into the grass, trying to get a position on the 94. Can't do it that way. The 94 has a 1 left-hand turn to make, and he will finish in third place here tonight. Brandon Hartwell in fourth. Dustin Ping gonna finish in 5th place tonight. Great one all around here from Sonoma. We're going to take a little bit of a break here. We've been talking for a while. We'll set up those post-race interviews. Let Steve Baker have a little fun in that 55, and we'll be right back. And we are back live right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We just watched 50 laps of Sonoma action, and we've got only one thing to do, and that's talk to the top three. Let's start off with third place finisher, the driver of the number 94. That is going to be Troy Radford. Troy, this is Chris and Rick. Do you have a copy?
I do, Chris and Rick. How are you guys doing today?
Well, doing pretty good, bud. Just watched a really good race between the top two drivers, and honestly, through the whole field, it was a good race. But those guys definitely in a league of their own here tonight. You come home third spot after winning last week. Your car is clean. Not a bad couple of weeks to put together in a row. What say you?
Hey, that's pretty much it. You know, anytime I can come away with the top three at a road course, you know, I didn't have anything for Steve and Dale. Those two guys are just in a league of their own out there. I mean, just gone. So, you know, hats off to Brandon. Me and him had a heck of a battle for about half that race. They're just, you know, he's a very clean driver, very talented. So, you know, great run in there with him. But yeah, I mean, it was an awesome road course race. Can't ask for any more out of our guys who, you know, not that any of us are road course racers here. So.
Yeah, that's it. And we kind of talked about that earlier. You know, we're all kind of used to going left, and you throw in a right, and that changes the whole dynamic. A bit of a long race here tonight, 124 miles, short on the distance, but man, it certainly takes a little while to get around this track, doesn't it?
It does, and I mean that's a little over half the normal distance for him. So I think the official race is 90 laps, but you know you don't really think about it. You know, you look at like past races here at Sonoma. Not that I don't think RFC's ever done a race at Sonoma, but you run into that carousel. It just adds like an extra 30 seconds onto this track, so you just really don't realize just how much longer the track is with that carousel.
Absolutely, and I'm going to ask this of everybody we talk to here tonight, but Troy, how are your arms feeling right now?
Oh my gosh, you know, I'm very fortunate that my air conditioning got fixed this afternoon because I am sweating bullets right now.
We're over here waiting for the snow to fly, and Troy's got his AC on, man.
yeah.
We're in the wrong state, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Anybody on the 94 team that you need to thank tonight, Troy?
You know, in the 94, of course, a big old shout out to Falcon Motorsports. Tyler. Tyler's been working on some new paint schemes for us. I think I got this one on there last week. Of course, National Kidney Foundation Evidence-Based Mommy. And a big shout out, of course, we couldn't get him on today, unfortunately. There was some technical difficulties, but Team 43 sponsoring the race tonight with Victory Junction Gang Camp. Really glad to have them on board and very thankful for what they do.
Yeah, Rick did mention that earlier, and Troy, because who was not able to join us, why don't you go ahead and just give a quick synopsis of what they do?
So, of course, Team 43 is actually a Bubba Wallace / Richard Petty fan club. Pretty big group on Facebook. I think there's about 1,200 members, and they actually go out and do a lot of really cool things. They're not just a fan club, but they actually do things for the team, such as like provide lunches for them. Right now, what they actually did for the Victory Junction Gang Camp car here at Talladega, the car is actually going to be filled with names. People were donating $43 to Victory Junction Gang Camp, and their name goes on the car. Well, Team 43 actually bought all 50 plus crew members who work on the car, and that's everybody from like the shop to the office people to everybody that works at Richard Petty Motorsports. They donated in their name $43 for each person. And so you're going to see on that car, you're going to see a big heart with all of the crew names on there. So they just do a lot of background stuff to help support the crew mentally, and then of course supplying stuff like lunch and cool stuff like that.
That is cool.
Very good stuff. I dig it, man. I dig it a lot. And thank you, Troy, for having us, because obviously, as you know, this is going to be our last Tuesday night broadcast with you guys. Now you have to deal with KR.
I know. Hey, you know what? The biggest shout out of the day goes out to you guys, though, Rick and Chris stepping in. You know, when KR couldn't be here for the first couple of races, you guys have been around for a long time with RFC, you know, founding members right there. So cannot thank you guys enough for everything you do for the league and for Turn 3 and everything. So we really appreciate you guys.
Back at you, brother. Thank you, and have yourself a good night.
Thanks.
And that was Troy Radford, the driver of the number 94, bringing it home in third spot tonight. And then we have to change gears, and almost literally, because we've got the second place finisher, the number 88 tonight, Dale Osmond. This is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I've got you guys.
Well, Katie, it's been a long time since I've talked to you, bud, but man, what a race you had tonight. Finishing second place tonight, you led 17 laps. You know your grandma's watching. How did that race go for you?
Oh man, it was a good race. I just didn't have enough for Steve there at the end. Uh Man, I'm disappointed in that one. I thought I had him on that last run, but I just couldn't get it done.
Well, you had him for, well, right up until I think it was 4 laps to go. He was able to get around you, and at that point, he had 1 lap fresher tires than you, and I think that was actually the difference. But you guys were fighting back and forth all night long. 6 lead changes between you guys. It was a good night. I'm asking everybody this one here tonight, how the arm's feeling.
Not too bad. I turned down my force feedback a little bit because I knew tonight was going to be rough. And it was my first night with my first road course, sorry, with a age pattern shifter, so that was definitely a learning curve too.
Oh man.
Uh-huh. Well, you picked it up pretty darn quick, bud. Anybody on the 88 team that you need to thank?
Yeah, my teammates, they couldn't be here tonight. They had some prior engagements, Ricky Harden, Mike Massengill. And then my family watching down in North Carolina. Everybody in this league, Steve, that was just awesome right there. I haven't had a run that good in a long time. And thank you guys for broadcasting.
Thank you, bud. We really do appreciate it. Great job tonight. Loved watching you come home in the top 3 and getting a chance to talk to you. Katie, we'll look forward to seeing you up front here again this season. And you have yourself a good night, bud.
You too. Thank you guys.
That's bud.
Katie Osmond, driver of the number 88, bringing it home in second spot. And that leaves us with one more driver to talk to. He came into tonight as your points leader. He's going to leave the same way after winning tonight's race. He led 33 laps. And it's Steve Baker in the 55. Steve, Chris, and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, bud, it was a hell of a race. You ended up leading 33 laps tonight, but there was 6 lead changes amongst you and KD. You guys were having a battle, and you guys were also in a league of your own here tonight. Why don't you go through that last pass there for the race lead with about 4 to go?
Yeah, it was. He pitted early on around lap 7, and I sort of held it out until lap 15, and then that sort of all set us for the rest of the race. And like you said there at the end, our last pit stops kind of got us back together, and he said he got a bit of a gap, but sort of ate up his tires, so I was trying to just save what I could. And yeah, I knew my only chance was exiting the carousel. I had been a little quicker than him there all night. He was a little bit faster on the other end. And so just tried to time it until I got a great run and send it in on the outside there. He kind of blocked the inside lane a bit, so I figured that was my only option and kind of held it there and held door to door, and it worked out.
Yeah, and we actually were fortunate enough to catch that, so it was intense. It was so cool to watch. Again, congratulations. I've asked everybody else this question, but here it comes to you. How are the arms feeling?
Oh man, 50 laps here is a handful. I was racing with the Rift on and had some sweat dripping down, so definitely a long one at this track. And yeah, it's never-ending turns.
Yeah, but it was eventually did come to an end, and here you are up front again, coming into tonight as your points leader and leaving tonight with the points lead as well. Steve, the season is starting to take shape for you.
Yeah, it's been good so far. I think the first few races we've just stayed out of trouble and caught some good finishes. This one I was kind of had my eye on. I've been racing pretty much only road stuff and official lately, just trying to do something different, and seemed to pay off.
Absolutely, bud. Well, congratulations on bringing home the 55 in first spot. Is there anybody out there that you need to thank?
Yeah, I think my team, Dustin and Josh, were out there tonight. Jerry West, SRTV Network, and Smoke Show Racing. And man, shout out to Dale just for racing me extremely clean there when I went for the pass on the outside. He could have easily doored me up and kept the position, but extremely good sportsmanship there from him, and everybody else out there tonight while we were battling just showed a lot of respect. So it was fun. This place is a great place to race. Troy does a hell of a job, and thank you guys for coming out and broadcasting it.
Man, it was truly our pleasure, Steve. Thank you once again, and congratulations on coming home in first spot in that number 55.
Thank you, guys.
That was Steve Baker in the 55, bringing it home in first spot. And Rick, that is going to do it for us with Racing for a Cause on Tuesday nights. We got to turn the keys back over to KR starting 2 weeks from tonight.
I'm not cleaning the booth out, though. He's going to have to live with the mess we made.
No, that's going to be his problem to kind of deal with. But yeah, I'm leaving don't tell him, I'm leaving a half-eaten banana with the peel. Fruit flies for KR. And that's going to do it here from Sonoma. Thank you all for coming out tonight, guys. We really do appreciate it. We love you all. Every single time we're out there, you guys make it a little bit easier on us just by chatting with us. And we can't thank you enough. And until next time, which is tomorrow night right here for RFC, we will talk to you guys later.
I know.